Today, we are with Lynn Hewart, former president of Cirque du Soleil. Welcome, Lynn, to our program.
Thank you.
When I hear these developments and challenges, I realize the key role that talent plays in your business. And how do you manage talent? I heard once you told me that you can spend more than 6 months recruiting someone that you actually don't hire. Tell me a little bit about that.
We can spend many more months than that looking for talent. First of all, a talent search for us is twofold. A talent search is to find new ideas and inspirations, okay? A person, you can find inspiration anywhere around the world, from India to South Africa to Buenos Aires, and we do have artists from here, to Montreal. You'll find talent all around the world, but it's not just the talented individual, it's what he or she is able to contribute creatively to a production. So when we're scouring the world in search of talent, we're doing more than that. We're looking for ideas and inspirations, and we're looking for talented people at the same time. The talent search process, if you want to call it, we call it casting. Okay, this is the term we use. Casting is a year-round activity. We have about 50 people in our casting department at Montreal who literally scour the world. Some people are on the road as much as 187 days a year looking for talent. They go to circus festivals, of course, but they also go to dance festivals and fringe festivals and music festivals. They go to the World Swimming Championships, the World Diving Championships, the Olympic Games, all first seeking ideas and then seeking talent. Then when we see people who are talented, and talent is half of the equation, there's a second half to the equation.
Which is?
We bring them to Montreal and we push them to their limits, okay, from their talent point of view, but at the same time we try to evaluate their core human values that we're seeking in Cirque du Soleil members. What are those core human values? Yeah. Wanting to be a member of a team, okay? Wanting to be a member of a team. Being able to work in a team to solve creative problems. Courage to take risks. Both physical risks and artistic risks. You take a gymnast, and he's used to taking some physical risk, but he may not have ever been asked to take an artistic risk. We will ask them to take an artistic risk. Generosity, not only toward the spectator, because they're our audience, but also in sharing their creative ideas with other people in a team. A lot of people like to keep the best for themselves. A willingness to participate in their own artistic growth. We don't want people who arrive in our studio and say, just teach me how to dance, or teach me how to sing, or teach. We want them to be involved in that process. So we're looking not only at a set of talents, but we're looking at a set of core human values that will make them successful inside the company. It's hard work too.
And how much time do they spend in Canada in all this process?
Okay.
And how much money do you spend per candidate, for example, is an indicator of the complexity of it?
There are two processes we're talking about. One is casting,
yes,
and the other is training, or as I like to call it, treasure hunting and creative transformation. Sounds more exotic,
yes,
doesn't
absolutely.
it? Lovely. Casting is a year-round process, so whatever it costs to maintain 50 people running around the world is the cost. But the big dilemma here is when you make a new show, your artists will be involved in that process not for 1 week or 2 months or 3 months. The artist will be involved in that process usually starting a year before the opening of the show, because they are part of the creative process. We're not just telling them what to do, they're part of the creation process. So when you're building a new show, you're talking anywhere from 9 months to a year, maybe even 15 months of preparation for artists for a new show, because you're creating with them. Wow. You're not creating just for them, there's a participation that's going on.
But they're already hired by then?
Yes, but there's a probationary period of 6 months.
6 months.
That's it. And then we have what we call a general training program. Obviously, running 13 or 14 shows worldwide all the time means that there will be a changeover in performers in the shows. This is normal, about 10 to 15% per year, people moving from one show to the other. So we need new performers. We bring those people into Montreal for a minimum of 16 weeks with no promise of a job.
Wow.
Okay, we train them. Okay, we train them in their acrobatic specialty, but then we test all of that other stuff I was talking about, like the ability to work together in a team, the willingness to take artistic risks, their generosity towards the spectator, etc. And then at the end of the 16 weeks, about 50%, between 33 and 50% of those people will be offered a job, and the other people for the next 6 months have the potential to be offered a job as well. So it's a risk for them, it's a risk for us. It's a fairly costly process. We're usually looking in the neighborhood of about $20,000 to cast an artist and around $40,000, $50,000 to train, well, to get the artist ready to go on stage.
That's impressive. You mentioned several qualities that you were looking in candidates, like generosity, both towards the team and the audience. Do you think those qualities should be searched for in any team members in any type of company?
Absolutely. Absolutely, because that's what gives you the creative latitude that you need. That generosity, this notion of being able to share creative ideas, or any kind of idea, but most ideas are creative, is a key to evolving into the future and being successful in the future. The worst thing is to have somebody who is so talented standing in front of you, but who doesn't want to be part of a team and doesn't want to share those ideas. Because ultimately, when you're doing 474 shows a year, and that's one Las Vegas show is 474, you need somebody else to support you. You have a little injury, you're sick for an evening, and you want somebody else to come in and take your place in the show. If you're generous, people will be generous to you. It's teamwork. And in our business, there's a certain truth in saying that our lives depend on teamwork, the ability to
Literally.
work. If you look at the Banquin Act, for example, in Quidam, or any of the group acts in Saltimbanco or Alegria, you realize that people's lives depend on the attention and the generosity of the people who are supporting them within the acts.